The video game series Persona. Wow. I've asked a couple people and they haven't responded, so that's quite interesting that people actually know. Anyways, in Persona, these characters are people who awaken their true selves to go fight against the forces of darkness or whatever. But if you look at the background of Persona 5, you'll see these big buildings. This takes place in Japan, modern day Japan. And in Japan, on my research of Japan, I realized that they have a different school system. So, according to our, contrary to our 3-month-long summer breaks that we have in America, in Japan they only have 40-day summer breaks, which is a gap in between semesters. And so this presentation is why we shouldn't have summer breaks. So this is the American summer break right here. As you see, it's from June to August, and it's about 3 months long. And Japan's summer break's only from July 20th, August 31st. So it's much shorter. But there are a few pros and cons to this. Let's start with the cons. The cons of having a short summer break. Some students don't do their homework to the end of summer break, which can possibly negatively affect them by having them stay up all night. And we actually saw the dangers of this in the last speech, which shows that staying up all night is not very ideal, because the students have homework during their summer break, which they do not have in America. Another con is that they could have good work ethic by having to do this work over the summer, but it could also potentially prohibit our ability to be able to take breaks at all, because they might think that they always have to work. Always having to work can also lead to being burnt out. Here are some of the pros of having short summer breaks. You don't need as much time to review. According to Dennis Safir, we don't have a long 6 to 8 weeks trying to get our kids caught up. If you do the math, by 8 weeks per year, then if you do 8 weeks of review per year, if you add it up to 4 years, which is your school year, then you would have 32 weeks, which is 7 months of just review. That is very inefficient. And so the proposition of balanced calendar as opposed to having one long break in the middle of it can be a very worthwhile question. According to Dennis Safir, I love having shorter breaks more frequently. I really feel that is better for my level of energy and enthusiasm for teaching. The American calendar was also created in the 19th century in a farm and factory economy. So they need a lot of production in order to have food uptake to uphold a nation of people, because a nation of people is a lot of people. And so we don't necessarily need to have this amount of efficiency anymore now that we are a more established country. I went to high school myself that they had every single Monday off, but they didn't have summer breaks. So it's quite similar to what they have in Japan. Because by not having it, if you do the math, it equals out to about the same number of days as the American summer break, even though we have every single Monday off. In review, Japanese and American summer breaks are quite different from each other. But because you have to review the material each and every summer, we should have shorter summer breaks, because that way people will not forget what they learned so much. 女性どもはありがとうございました。